What was your initial reaction when you just heard a few minutes ago the rampant reports Tom Brady is a Tampa Bay Buc?
You know, Skip, over the last couple of weeks, we have started hearing a groundswell. The Bucks, the Bucks, the Bucks.
I heard a lot, but I kept discounting it.
So did I,
Yep.
because for the most part, it was always the L.A. Chargers. It was 85% of the people actually thought he was going back to the Patriots. So maybe this was a bargaining tool, and maybe some of the teams that were out there that were interested in Tom Brady thought he was going back to the Patriots. But you heard this groundswell, Bucks, Bucks, Bucks. Okay, now they didn't pick Jameis. And you heard Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is very frank, very candid. A reporter asked him a question. Do you believe you can win with another quarterback? He said, well, we won with this one. I definitely believe we can win with another one. That one happened to be Jameis Winston, who was the first quarterback in NFL history in the same season, throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Skip, yeah, this is a little surprising because the Bucs seemingly came out of nowhere after 2 weeks, after all we've heard. But I don't think I'm not surprised that he's out of New England, because the mere fact is that we heard that there was a disagreement. Skip, it's kind of like a couple getting a divorce. When you start hearing there's problems, we shouldn't be surprised that ultimately they end up getting a divorce. It's when you don't hear problems and all of a sudden it comes out of the blue that we're shocked. I'm not shocked by this. Coach Belichick laid out the blueprint about 3 years ago when he wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. And if you look at it, Skip, they never extended Brady's contract. All they did was found a way to give him more money, but keep it at 2 years.
Yep.
And this year.
And more money was only $23 million.
Right, more money. But here's the thing, Skip. What he wanted was a commitment. And we know years equals commitment. They were unwilling to give him that commitment this year.
Yep.
And the writing, I think, became crystal clear to Tom Brady. They don't really want me. And something else stood out to me listening to Mr. Kraft talk. He said Tom Brady came to him. Skip, when they want you, they come to you. You don't have to go to them. And I think that was crystal clear to Tom that, you know what, it's time for me to move in a different direction. Maybe Mr. Kraft wanted him, but not as much as Mr. Kraft is leading on in that statement, because he has veto power over Coach Belichick. Last time he overrid him. And I told you, Skip, I said, Skip, he won this time. Tom won this round. I don't believe he'll win another round with Coach Belichick.
Okay, I cannot tell you how much I disagree with your last statement about Robert Kraft.
Okay.
But I'm going to get to that in a second, because first I'm going to deal with the Buccaneers. When this first hit me between the eyes that it had become reality, all of this wild speculation about Brady to Tampa?
To the Bucs.
I cannot still to this moment wrap my mind around it, because as you know, I'm a huge Brady fan. You're not so much.
Right.
And the prospect of trying to envision in my psyche Tom Brady in red and orange and pewter, that silver pewter color, Tom Brady in a pirate uniform.
Right.
It jars me to my soul, because it's like the last uniform I could see Tom Brady finishing his career in.
Correct.
That's number one. But then it hit me, where's the Super Bowl next year?
Tampa.
Tampa. Wouldn't it be just like Tom Brady to say, one reason I'm picking Tampa is because the Super Bowl's in Tampa, and I'm going to be playing the first ever home team Super Bowl? That's got to be some attractive factor that might be the cherry on top of this decision. Now let's get to the guts of this decision. They didn't have one Pro Bowl receiver. They had two, right?
Yes.
They had Mike Evans. They had Chris Godwin.
Yes.
They made the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
Tom didn't have anything resembling either one last year in New England. Is that fair to say?
Very fair.
O.J. Howard is a stud.
Yeah.
And he's just coming into his own. Cameron Brate has come into his own.
Yep.
Kid from Harvard.
Yep.
You're not a kid anymore. Those are two, let's just say they're you're obviously a Hall of Fame tight end, but they're quality tight ends, right?
Yes.
Tom had the worst collection of tight ends in the league last year, featuring 39-year-old Benjamin Watson in New England, right? So he's looking, saying, okay, I can work with that.
Correct.
I can work with that.
Yes.
Checked it just before we went on air. Pro Football Focus ranked their offensive line pass blocking in Tampa last year as 10th best out of 32. It's decent.
Yes, that's not bad.
I don't know it. It's kind of no name to me.
Right.
But I think they protected Jameis, who holds on to the ball a long time. Remember, Bruce Arians likes to hold the ball, 7-step drops.
He wants to push it down the field.
Push it down the field, and that's not something Tom's ever been coached to do
Right.
in New England.
Get
right?
it out of your hand quick.
Okay. Now let's look at the coaches. I'm a big fan of Bruce Arians as an offensive mind.
He is.
He's worked with star quarterbacks from Peyton to Roethlisberger and now to Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty comfortable fit. I think.
Yes.
The great Tom Moore, who coached Peyton in Indy, he's just a guru. He's 80 years old, but he's an advisor to Bruce Arians.
Right.
So you got those two guys to feed off of.
Right.
And again, Peyton fed off Tom
Right.
Moore at his height in,
Right.
in Indy, right?
And Tom Moore's known for play action, something Tom Brady is very good at.
Very good at. This is just me. I consider Todd Bowles as good a defensive coordinator as there is in this league. And he did not make a great head coach.
Right.
But when you get him out of that, as we saw at Arizona and then now back at Tampa last year, by the end of the year, they were coming on.
Correct.
Because on the other side of the ball, Shaq Barrett, who they've kept,
They
obviously,
franchised
they
him, yep.
franchised him, he led the whole league in sacks.
Yep.
And they just brought back
JPP.
JPP,
Correct.
so they've got that. And Devontae David
Yeah.
is Levante.
Levante.
He led them in tackles. He's just a stud
Right.
linebacker, right? Doesn't
Yep.
get a lot of acclaim. So their defense, when I look at the end of the year, they went 4-2 in their last 6 games, and the defense was 10th in yards allowed in the
Right.
NFL over 6 games. So it was starting to make sense of Todd Bowles,
Right.
what he's
Correct.
trying to teach.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.